Good morning. Last week and into this week, I've been talking about how sometimes it's very difficult and a little sad when we start thinking about all the different things that we love to do in order to prepare our hearts for Christmas, all the things we love to do to celebrate Christmas. But then things come along that kind of help put it all into perspective. Yesterday, I received word that a member of our family of faith had COVID, and they were in the hospital. And the hospital was so full that they were in a bed in the hallway for quite some time. Finally, a doctor found a room for them, and now they're fighting for their life. I'm having them in my prayers all the time. And when I hear something like that, it sort of reminds me and puts it into perspective of how do I deal with this Christmas and knowing that it's going to be different. And I don't mean to minimize what is happening to us in the fact that we do have to give up things that we find so joyful and meaningful, and yet it helps us sometimes kind of see all that is going on around and why this Christmas will be different. One of those things that I did love so much every year was our all-church Christmas party. It really is far more than a party. It's a night when we all come together and we celebrate what God has done through His church in this past year. It's a night of remembering and really giving thanks as we see God moving through His church and through us and all that we have done in this past year to share the good news. And so it really is a night of celebrating and remembering and giving thanks and then having a vision about the future. We always pack out the CLC. 350, 400 people will come to dinner, and we have fun, and we'd always share a movie. We do the same thing up in Edmond in the worship center. Hundreds of people, 300 people will turn out. That's a great night. We can't do that this year. That would not be responsible. Because of us sitting shoulder to shoulder and eating, we know that's one of the spreading type of events. So we're not doing that. But instead, we are still going to have a night where we celebrate what God has done, our all-church Christmas party, this coming Sunday night, 5:30, wherever you go to worship online, whether Facebook or our web page. And what we're going to be having is the Not So Late Show. And we're going to have a fun time as we truly have the Not So Late Show, and we're going to have lots of wonderful guests and musical numbers and all kinds of different things. And so I want to invite you to be a part of that on this coming Sunday night at 5:30. In order to get prepared for it, we're going to wind up, you can come by the church, Edmond or downtown campus, and you can pick up a mug, the Not So Late Show mug. We're going to have hot cocoa packets ready that you can mix up that night. Cookies cooked by Chef Catherine and individually wrapped so that you can enjoy cookies that night. We're also going to have for you a Christmas ornament. And it's a Christmas ornament that you can put on your tree or wherever you would like, and you can do it year after year on the night that on a year that you can remember 2020. And on it is not only our triquetra, but it's the scripture written in really small words that if you have good eyes or your reading glasses, it says, "Be not afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of a great joy." And it's the scripture of the birth right here in the triquetran. So you can get your ornament and your mug, and you can get a couple of candles, the kind of candles we use on Christmas Eve, to be able to have at home for Christmas Eve when it comes. And again, it's one of those events that we won't get to share together. But you can have your candle at home so you can light your candle. What it is, it's reminding us that in the midst of this pandemic, there are very real reasons why we are not getting to celebrate the way we usually do. And it's important for us to be a part of the answer right now and not being spreading these kinds of events. And yet, I've kind of moved past all that sadness of not getting to do the things we usually do. And I'm thinking more and more every day, what am I going to do to prepare my heart for Christmas this year? What are we going to do different, and how do we make it special? This idea of the Not So Late Show and celebrating together this coming Sunday night is one of those ideas. But I'm doing lots of things every day. And that's what I'd like to ask out of you today. be thinking, what are you going to do today? What are you going to make happen that is different and meaningful? So that we don't spend our time being upset on what we didn't get to do, and instead, we're finding new and creative ways to prepare our heart to experience the birth of our King. It's important to keep it all in perspective and to give God thanks, to pray for those who are in need, and if we do all of that, it's going to lead us into the way of peace. I hope you're lighting your Advent wreath, offering your prayers, we said this week, every day, for gratitude. And if we lift up our gratitude, we will find ways to prepare and move into the way of peace. Have a blessed day.